Hello,
Hey, Saransh.
hello, Shah. Hello, Shah. How are you
Good,
doing? How are you doing?
good. I'm Noel. How are you?
I'm doing good as well.
I'm doing good as well.
I think
See
I
anyone else?
I
Or
Ethan, how are you doing?
Hi, Saransh. Not doing so well. I'm a bit sick today.
Oh, damn. What happened? Flu?
I don't know, just not feeling well since I woke up.
That's pretty bad. Thank you so much for making the session, though. Hopefully, you'll feel better, little better, whatever I can do in my power. Uh, Give us a couple more minutes. People stopping in. Hey, Sanjay.
Hey Sarans, how are you?
Good, good. How about you?
I'm doing good.
Let's
Thank you
give
for asking.
4 5 minutes. Thank you so much. Let us give us 4 5 minutes more and then we can get started. Okay, let us get started. Let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Let me pull up a presentation and I'll share my screen. Okay. Okay. Let's do this. Hey, Ravita, how are you doing?
Hi, doing good.
I'll just get started. Okay. Here is my screen. Everybody can see my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So I guess we have a lot of familiar faces. So I have probably talked to everyone. So probably the intro is not needed then. I am Saransh. I'm an international F-1 student and ex-Amazon. That is the short intro, what you would require to get out of this session. So if you ask me, who are you? Why should I listen to you in this regard? Basically, I'm an ex F1 student who did a bachelor's in computer science from Texas Tech University. If you don't believe me, I have put a degree on there, so guys don't doubt me. So that's degree. But tell me this, how many of you even know the name of this university? Does anyone know the name of this university? You can just raise your hand.
I know them.
Okay. A lot of students back here.
I also
I
am
also
familiar with the name.
familiar with the name.
Okay, got it. You have a lot of echo, so mute it.
I'm sorry.
Just mute yourself. You have an echo.
Oh,
Got it. Okay. Yeah, so back in India, no one knew this university's name. Wherever I go, no one heard of this name. And why you would ask me, why would I go for such a university? It's because it gave me a 90% scholarship. And I'll explain to you the reason why we went with this. But yeah, this is where I have come as literally the same place from where you all have come, and I have the exact same credentials. So I graduated in 2021. And no matter what university you come from, whatever background you have come from, you can basically get whatever you want. That is kind of the essence of the story. And you'll get a lot of insight and actionable takeaways based on what I did on my journey, how I went to Amazon, how I came from India to US. And then, basically, I just went from a no name university just based on merit. So there is no supporting things happening for me here. So that is where I start from. And you ask about results. I had a lot of online assessments, 20 interviews, 9 final interviews, and 3 offers. Ended up going to Amazon, again, attached proof. So you guys don't doubt me in that as well. I don't have the offer letter. I couldn't find it. I have misplaced in somewhere. I have it printed out somewhere, but I just don't have it digitally, I guess. So I'll get started on how my journey came from India to the US. So actually, I come from a family where marks are given too much importance. Asian family values, everything is your GPA, your grades. I've changed a couple of high schools. In my 5th grade, I was a topper, but as soon as I shifted to another top school, I was so used to being at the top. I was so used to being everyone following me, all the teachers knowing me. I had a way of getting my things done. As I soon moved to one of the top schools in 6th grade, all of that came crashing down. And that's where I learned you can be a king at one place and literally nothing at the other place. It depends on which game you are playing. There are very different games. So that was what I'll apply in the future. So I promise you this has uh, relevance. So I learned this, but I found in the new school I was just above average. I kept competing. Sometimes I came out second, third, first, but yeah, it was all going in the top 5, top 10. So I kind of got demotivated a bit, but I always had two different legs in two different boats. Doing the school stuff, I wanted to go to study abroad, but I was put into IIT JEE coaching. That is in India, like it's Harvard in the US. In India, it's IIT. It's a very huge thing for engineering. Anyone who goes outside, everyone in the whole world knows the name. But the whole point was why I wanted to run from India. I didn't want to just mug up information and score marks. That's what I was not good at mugging up stuff. I used to write it in my own language, and they were like, "You need to write the textbook language, otherwise you're not going to get scored." I'm like, this is so stupid. I literally said the same thing in my own language. So that is the reason I wanted to run. And the another reason was I didn't want to run the rat race. There are billions of people in India. In IIT, there is prestige, but even winning the race, only the top people got into the US earning those salaries. So I was like, I don't want to be like, first you go into the top 1% of the cream to get into that college, then you need to be at the top. I learned from switching schools that it is very different in different places. So I was like, I don't want to run this race. Doesn't have a, it's very much hard work, but not a lot of smart work. I just want a maximum return on investment. So I convinced my parents to go abroad. So that is how I made that decision. But I stopped studying in 12th grade since I got an unconditional scholarship. So I didn't care about my grades anymore. My mom got very upset. He's like, "You are a 90% student. You got an 83 in 12th grade. You have literally let my name down in my entire college, right?" My father literally taunted me every day. I have spent lakhs of rupees in coaching for IIT only to go abroad and spend more money. My school teachers, my mentors all said, "You will fail. You are not serious. You give up too easily." Everyone was out for me, trying to get me to fail. So I was in a relationship. My parents made me go out of a relationship saying it will get me distracted. So that is how controlling the relationship got. Now, this 18-year kid had set on a mission to prove everyone wrong. I got admission from big Canadian universities, Waterloo, UBC, some bigger US universities I applied to, but I did not want to take money from my father because of what he told me. I did not want to take any loans. I wanted the maximum return on investment. So I went with a non-name university because it gave me a 90% scholarship. So I wanted to get the highest grades. And of course, I got into a relationship as soon as I entered the US, being the rebel I am. Definitely, my parents are the sweetest and most supportive, but as a kid, whatever you hear, you take those words to your heart. And they were literally carved with blood. It was basically like, I'll die and do anything that is required to prove them wrong. So basically, that is what fueled the journey going into college. And this is when I went to my journey as a US student. First year of university is basically, I took part-time jobs to pay my living expenses. My father did take care of my tuition. I did get a 90% scholarship, so that was helpful. I got a scholarship from the computer engineering department also, but since I wanted to take computer science, I had to defer that. So I was still at 85%, I guess. So it was all good. But then I took up part-time jobs. I joined a hospitality job. So taking orders, cleaning, doing all the kind of stuff. In India, it is very looked down upon. As you go outside, you get humbled. I hated it. I hated it to the core. I left it in 2 months and I'm like, I'll do whatever else. I don't want to come back to this job. Actually, okay, the truth is I got fired because not because I was not working correctly, it's because everyone literally clocked out at whatever time they were supposed to clock out. Like if our shift ended at 4, but they always somehow got us free 30 minutes before, and people were like, we are going to just clock out at 4. We don't care. And unfortunately, I was the only one that got caught. I'm like, I don't care. Somehow this happened. They did not report me, thankfully. So anything that happened, I'm like, let it go. I'm never coming back here. And he's like, you will never be hired. And I literally told them to her face, I'm not ever coming back here anyways, basically. So now I needed to find more part-time jobs. So I did a lot of part-time jobs. I was a student caller asking for donations. I was doing transcripts for videos. I was a tutor at one point. There's literally a plethora of jobs I have taken. I worked as a library assistant. So first year, it was mostly managed studies, learning. Obviously, you got fresh into college. It is more going, enjoying some of the college life. I was not a party dude, but there's some still things you need to enjoy. So 1-2 years of life is what you are using for enjoying. I did not know anything on getting jobs, but I went to job fairs and I went to every booth, which is basically how I was able to get my first internship. It was literally a small company, which was in Lubbock, Texas. It was making custom applications for a lot of other smaller companies. So the thing was, I did not know that you cannot do a first year internship. You can't do an internship in the first year in summer. I did not know that. Apparently, as soon as I went to get a CPT, I discovered, okay, I can't take that job. Now they really wanted me to join. They were like, you can do an unpaid internship. I'm like, okay. I went back to the university and they're like, you can't even do an unpaid internship. This is illegal for an international student to do in the first year. So unfortunately, even though I got an internship in the first year, I was not even able to take it. That's how destiny works sometimes. So now, basically, that's how the first year went by. And then the second year, I wanted to see, I started learning on what is required on a resume. So there were people going to hackathons, people doing this, people doing that. There was a lot of things that were going in. So what I understood was, first thing is GPA. That was my one of the goals. I would need to maintain the highest GPA possible. Second, I thought, okay, people are going to hackathons, they have projects. That is something I'm missing. I went to a hackathon. I led the team. My friends have been to 3 or 4 hackathons before. It was not fruitful, but I went with them. I was able to guide them and choose the correct challenge, get the correct idea. And we were in a sponsors challenge, which was to create something for underprivileged kids uh, who need medical support. So we actually solved a bigger problem. We were going to create an application which brought insurers, patient, and doctors all on the same platform. So that won the sponsors challenge, my first hackathon, and that we won that hackathon. And then it was kind of the charm of hackathons went away. I'm like, okay, this is something which I can do. I got the hackathon there. I got a project there. That is all that mattered. Next thing, I was like, I need leadership roles. So then I went and I joined as a team. I joined a team as a CTO for a startup. We went to a competition. We won funding for customer discovery. And we used that to go on a trip to California, visit UC Berkeley, and also the other university, which is Stanford, to do customer discovery. It was a parking app we were creating for the college. So that is the second experience I got in terms of leadership. Now, my dream company was Google. But I don't need to explain the reasons. Mostly it is the perks, the money, the food, everything is free. As a college student, anything you get as free is your biggest attraction. We don't understand what we are losing because of it. Because later I realized, okay, these people start serving dinner at 6 or 8. They make you stay in the office, work till that time. That is how they trick people. I started to understand this at a very later stage in life. For lunch, how they get, for dinner, how do they get people to work more? So that is a play. This is just an information for all of you. That is how companies exploit you to work for them for literally as many hours as possible. So definitely after this, since my dream company was Google, there was a position called Google Developer Student Club. They were launching this all over every, you can call, yeah, they were literally launching this all over for every, basically it was for every university, and they were appointing a president there. So there were a lot of people that qualified from our college, but fortunately I was the one that was selected. So now I have the ultimate leadership experience. I have founded a club in college. I am the president and the founder. I have built a team. I have gotten everything that I need to. I'm hosting sessions. So now I'm like, okay, now I have everything. Second year, I tried to get internships, but I was not successful still then because I did not know the part called lead code. So again, this is a process we need to learn, continuously learn. But then I was like, I need something. So I was able to get another unpaid internship now this time. The earlier company was no longer hiring. The new company had some open source projects and had 3 or 4 positions available, took some interviews, got the job. The story of their job is very much ups and downs. I had never done a technical job before. And my working way was slow and perfect. That is how I worked. And what the owner expected was it should be fast, it may break, we can do many iterations. And there was a communication gap there. So I was anyway struggling. I used to call my mother every day and I'm like, I can't do this. I have taken computer science. I am not fit for this. And my mom is like, my mom is a PhD lecturer in computer science, by the way. So she's like, stick with it, take some time, you will be able to do it. Halfway into the internship, the boss, I worked directly with the CEO, by the way. It was a very small company. It was agriculture tech. And he was the only one selling software for agriculture. So he had huge clientele, but he did not need too much things to be happening. So he was just having 1 or 2 people on there. Now I have literally been called into the office. And the speech I'm being given is, you are not fit to do CS. You should be switching majors. You are not good at this job. And I'm like, the first thought in my mind is, yeah, you are right. I have told that to my mom several times on the phone. I don't think I can do this. And then I literally asked him, I'm like, what is the issue that you are facing and what do you want me to do? He's like, I need you to deliver fast results. You have been sitting at this for 10 days. And I'm like, I just want to make sure that it is perfect. And the first submission I make should be error free and it should work and get the job done. I do a lot of testing. That is how I operate. So I was like, okay, now I understand what you want. You want fast results, you want deliverables at certain time stamps. So I changed my approach. I adapted, took the feedback, took the communication. Long story short, I was able to get a return offer. I was able to get a letter of recommendation from this person. And this person was the same person in the middle of the internship was saying, CS is not for you. You should leave computer science. You should never do a job. So now this is where I will tell you, this is the importance of communication. There was zero communication. As soon as you start making communications, know the expectations and meet them. Second year, one more interview had happened. It was with it was a larger company in Lubbock, Texas. It had a branch. It was called Truno Technologies. And they were literally group interviews done. And from the group interviews, since I was so good at communicating, only 5 people out of probably 50 people that sat in the group in the group round got selected, and I was one of the 5. I went into the interview and I was like, I am not gonna lie. They asked me, did I know how to build an API? I'm like, I know how to use an API, but I can learn how to build an API. I have learned everything. I was very truthful and straight up. But the reasoning was I spoke too much and I over-explained. I did not want to lie. On the other hand, I had some friends going into that interview as well. Two of them actually. Irony was I got rejected. All the other 4 people that got into the interview phase were accepted. And I proactively reached out and said, could you give me some feedback on why I was rejected? Because I was flabbergasted. I was like, okay, I don't know one or two things. Why was I rejected? And then I learned the reasoning he gave me was, you speak too much. You communicate a lot. And in my head, I am thinking, okay, I understand. Software engineers need to be as quiet, as personality less as possible, so that they can just follow orders and do the work. They don't want people trying to understand, communicating. They're like, they should just do the work and we don't want to deal with them. So I kind of went into that zone again. This is again all adding fuel to the fire. I will prove these people wrong. I'm like, I'll tell you one day, you will see. Truno Technologies was actually a very smaller version of Amazon. It used to do cashier tech for all of like the self-checkout counters that you see at Walmart. Those are the ones made by Truno Technologies. They developed that technology. So now I'm like, after a year or two, I saw him reposting that, one of his people working with him joined Amazon, right? And at that time, I was working in Amazon. So I was like, okay, you are so impressed that you got someone placed in Amazon after working for you. I am already there. So it always comes down round to the circle. Don't take anything to your heart. If you can use it as a fuel to your fire, use it, not an issue. So that was a summary of second year. So first year I did get an internship, did not pan out. Second year, rejections and unpaid internships, not looking very good, right? Third year of my university, I did not have a part-time job. For a couple of months, I took money from my dad, which I did not want to do for my living expenses. Again, my ego got in the way. So basically, I was so desperate, and this is what we should learn from the story I'm about to tell you. In my third year, because I left a job which was transcribing, I was not getting paid enough, and it was so frustrating. It was kid speaking. I could not understand half of it. It was driving me nuts. I left it after 1 month. It paid me more, so I had left the tutor job, which I really liked. Now I can't go back to the tutor job. I can't go back to my old job. It did not have any vacancies. Now I don't have a job. I went and I printed my resume, I edited it. I went in the whole freaking university, and our campus was huge. Like, it is probably the second biggest campus after Stanford. I went in buses for 2 weeks. I went into every office in the Texas Tech University office, like every department, every admissions, every office that I saw, I went in. I was like, I'm a student looking for a part-time job. I applied online jobs on the student portal. I went with a resume in hand. I have literally passed on resumes to every freaking office in Texas Tech to get a part-time job. And guess what? That got me a part-time software developer position in the university. It was not technically software development, it was Salesforce, more of that kind, but that was something still related to my major. And I was like, I will be doing this the whole year. It's a huge add to my resume. And the thing is, this is the resilience you will need to land jobs. Basically, by hook, by crook, do anything, everything. Go to job fair. I don't care if you don't have a job. If you're living in the city, you know there are 5 companies hiring. Has anyone watched Pursuit of Happiness? Has anyone heard of the movie? No. I see Sanjay nodding his head. So if you have not watched that movie, go and watch the movie. It's called Pursuit of Happiness. The guy literally takes his resume, stands out every day until he gets an interview in that company. That is the persistence you need. If you know, I'm not saying stand outside in the sun outside a company until they give you an interview. I don't want you to say, Saransh told me to stand outside the Google office. I am here. No one is inviting me in. But what I mean is, if you know there are 5 companies in your city, and if you know they may be hiring or they may not be hiring, and they're very small companies even, take your resume, go to their office. Worst case, they'll say, no, we are not hiring or we don't take resumes. You walk out. If you don't ask, you will never get the answer. So this is how I got my part-time job, which is technically an internship now. I did that for 2.5 years. My whole third year, my fourth year, and even till the time I was getting my job was starting, I was still doing that. So yeah, that's the third year, which had a good starting. And now I had joined Algorizon also and seeing what for an internship. At that time, they were doing internships as well. So I was seeing what do I need. Now I was introduced to the concept called lead code. Now I'm practicing lead code. Now I'm like, okay, I have leadership, I have projects. What else can I have? I'm maintaining my GPA. So I was like, okay, I need to fix my resume. I need to fix my LinkedIn. I need to present it in a way that is as blingy as possible. And then I learned how to network with recruiters. I learned I learned all the technologies that I was missing. Now, the whole point there was that I got introduced to lead coding, but I was not an expert yet. And I did not want to be one of those students who is doing 900,000. Okay, negative point, I'm kind of lazy. I can't do 900,000 lead code questions and I feel it's stupid. So I discovered, what do we call that? It was some algo expert. That was the platform. I was like, this has 200 questions. It was 100 at that time. And they had all video explanations. It was like, this is really good. I joined that. And that also, I was at 25 questions or something before I went to interview. So I was at less than 100 questions. But through learning all of this, I got four or five interviews. I got an interview at Bloomberg. I failed that. I got an interview at Google for an internship. I did not make it. So Google again was my dream company. That's why I wanted to go there. And I was so fixated on that one result. I didn't. As soon as I got the Google interview, I'm like, I am not applying to anything else. This is what I want. This is what I'll get. And that was the stupidest mistake I could have done. They gave me a rejection on around April, and the interview positions are filled. Internship positions are filled. I got no place to go. And then I'm like, okay, I didn't try hard enough. Number one, I should have done more questions. I learned a lot and I should have kept backup options. So these are learnings, right? Now I'm like, okay, I decided I have an on-campus part-time software related job. And since now I'm getting the hang of how to present my resume, my LinkedIn, how to network with recruiters, what is needed to excel and crack a technical interview, how to do lead code. So I chose to spend my time doing that for my full-time role. Now this is where every story gets summed up, and this is the year which you were waiting for. Final year. Now I have spent my entire summer doing this rigorously, doing my part-time job. And it was a COVID year, 2020. So by the way, I still had a 4.0, but I was about to get a B. But then again, as you say, universe, all hail the universe. miracles happened, and it was like you would be able to convert a B into an A or something like that. Or I do not remember the exact thing, but due to COVID, it was something like that, that oh, sorry, you can hide one of your subjects from your GPA. So I had one B ever in my college life. And I used that power somehow, God gracious. I hit that B. I was like, no 3.9 something, it's 4.0. So again, universe helps, right? Destiny helps in one way or the other. This is insider information, okay? This is the first time I'm telling it to someone. If you look at my LinkedIn, it says 4.0, means I never had a B in my life, okay? And this is non-disclosures. You cannot disclose this to anyone. Now, final year going in, I have everything I need on my resume. I just don't know how to present it in what I'm looking for. Now, from day to night, what I'm doing, I have gone through in my final year till my final year, I have gone through hundreds of rounds of resume reviews from different places. I go to every career fair I can go to. I go to every club, every honor society, all that BS. They take money from you to just join an honor society. I was a part of two or three of them, and they were all useless. I literally joined national something Black Engineers Association also. I went to their career fair. I went to their resume review. I have had 100 resume reviews, and I have looked at over 200 LinkedIn profiles. And whatever I could pick up from those LinkedIn profiles, I have put in my profile. So when I tell you that for LinkedIn and resume, there is no better person that can tell you what to do than me, is because I have taken so many resumes that have worked. I'll actually give you I'll give you my LinkedIn profile, right? So I'm showing you the level of detail it has. Okay. So this is literally my LinkedIn profile, as you can see. The level of detail it has is all my projects are written as open source experience. Or they have their links, they have the GitHub links. They have, if I have one, I have a photo of doing the project with the team. That photo is there. There is achievements, there is descriptions, there is responsibilities. Then there is, if I'm doing an internship, there is a letter of recommendation. There is a GitHub repository since it was open source. There's a summer interns picture there. I got as many letter of recommendations I can get. I have I became so this is not a company, co-founder CTO. This was a startup that we founded. So I created a page. I'm the only employee. It says that we won something, we qualified, I had responsibilities. I put the pitch deck on there, I put the accelerator program photo, whatever related bling I can add to it, make it as fancy as possible. Like I was the DSC lead. They flew me out to a conference in California. That was literally the number one reason I wanted to become the lead. Free trip to California. So they got me a conference picture. I took a workshop. They had a picture of that. Like everything I've put it on here, right? Again, you can see academic tutor. I have an LOR. I have a software developer LOR. I had an internship letter of recommendation. So anything I can see, anything I can gather, I have done that on my resume and my LinkedIn. As you can see, like this is ridiculous level things. This is just experience. I saw someone put a photo of the degree in their. I was like, I don't care if it makes sense. You know, this person is working at Facebook. He has done something right. Okay, I'm also putting my degree on here. I have my degree. I took any license, any certification, Triple Byte, Google. I put all of that there. I've put all my projects, all the links to the projects, all the description of the projects. Everything is GitHub. I have skills. All of them were endorsed. I didn't have recommendations at that time. Now I do, since I'm doing in a different line of work. From my high school, every award that I got is on here. Over 10 honors and awards. I put languages. This is the stupidest thing you can do. Not probably the stupidest, the most useless out of everything. I put languages, organizations. Every organization I was part of, it is written. If I went to one meeting, I am a member of that organization. Okay. So this is literally how I had hyped up to the max extent possible. I'm like, if someone looks at this LinkedIn profile, this is the best profile they have ever seen. And now the whole thing, basically, yeah, the whole thing was blinged out to the maximum. Whatever experience I needed to display, changing it so I can present it to be useful to the recruiter, even if it is not computer science, not exactly matching. I deleted all those. I had a student caller position, I had everything, and I somehow related it to computer science. I learned to use the CRM, blah, blah, blah. Anything can be converted. If you are sweeping floors and you come to me and tell me I want to apply to a computer science job, I can convert your sweeping floors somehow. I'm like, you swept 5 floors in 30 hours, something like that. I'll make you write that can somehow fit the description of the job, what it is looking for. If it is looking for multitasking, I can fit it into that. No experience is wasted. That is what I learned. I spent time changing my LinkedIn to show every detail, letter of recommendation, endorsement, achievements. So now, after networking with recruiters, I have given out my scripts as well that I used. Worked pretty much very good. I got a lot of interviews from networking with recruiters. So I went to every career fair, online applications. I did ended up giving up a lot of online applications, learning from all my mistakes. This is how the journey goes. It starts with me I applied for a Google Cloud resident job position, which was a apprenticeship of 2 years. And it was so good. I changed my mind to want to go to product management, but I was too late since I already was in my 4th year. I did not have experience and stuff like that. So this was a clear door to product management, and it was also software engineering. So this was my top priority. Again, Google, as soon as you write the name, I was like, okay, this is what I'm going for. I learned two primary things there. I didn't get in primarily due to my lack of web development trivia knowledge. There's a very less jobs which ask you for trivia questions, which is the cache that is used to empty this, blah, blah, blah. And I did not know that. And to be honest, it's a shame on my part, because when I was even trying to prepare, I was so frustrated that I did half of the preparation. I was like, I don't care about this anymore. I ran from mugging up stuff. I cannot do it again. So yeah, I did not get that job, but I saw two other people getting the job, and that opened my eyes. One person I met someone in the network. He had half a page resume. The question he was asked in the technical round, she did half the question, did not complete it, which me and my classmate, by the way, did fully correct. She was given the final interview and selected just to fill a diversity quota. And I know this sounds shitty, but this is the reality. And then second person is someone who had an empty resume, like zero experience, had a good GPA and was from Harvard. He also got admitted. That taught me two things. Okay. As much as I say that I do not give a shit about university, I do not care about university, it matters. It matters. For me to get a job in Amazon, you heard how much things I needed to do. That guy only needed to write Harvard, a GPA, and that was his entry. Okay, I'm not saying he did not do hard work. So I just want to make this clear. So basically, we don't get jealous. We don't blame people. It's their luck, also their hard work. We don't know what they did. We are just judging based on what we see. We don't know what's behind the scenes. So it doesn't matter, it does matter what university you go to. He had a good a GPA, Harvard tag, and we can probably look at him and say, okay, that's why he got it. Maybe he was a very expert in web development knowledge. He never got an internship. We do not know that. So whenever we see cases, we can't judge people based on that. But I'll tell you why luck plays a very, very important role. If someone tells you luck does not play a role, kindly refer him to me. It's basically too much of luck playing in this, because I'll give you that example right now. I met a mentor who was a software engineer at Google. I met him because I'll tell you, I wanted him to give an OA for me. I did that shit once in the start. I'm not proud of it. I wanted someone to give an OA for me. I never did it again. I admit it. But that was the reason I met that guy. He gave a shitty OA and I failed because of him. And I was sitting beside him and I'm like, I could have done better than him. So I asked him, how did you get into Google? He was like, fortunately, I did 50 questions only. I did not do one hard question. I got all 5 medium questions and the questions I had already done before. That's how I got into Google. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, how lucky is this guy? Just imagine you did 10 questions for an exam, and that is what comes in the exam. And they were like, I scored 100. You're not intelligent. You are just lucky. You were at the right place, the right time. So luck plays a huge factor. And there was one subject in particular called software engineering where I again needed to mug up and write things. And I literally prayed to God. I'm like, I cannot do this. I don't care if my 4.0 goes away. I don't give a shit. The only thing I'm studying is the homework questions and one other set of questions. I did 20 questions. There were 10 questions in the exam. 9 of them were from our homework. That's how I got a 4.0 in software engineering also without studying. So the luck plays a huge factor. Nobody tells you that it does not. So now the whole point is I got rejected from Google Cloud Resident. Then Amazon New Grad opened up. They were mass hiring. It was easy. But as I told you, I was not confident in the start. So I had a Google engineer sit on a call with me and take the OA for me. Don't do this. This is cheating. I never did this in college. This was a one-off thing. I'm still admitting it, so you learn from it. It was the worst mistake I could do because that guy messed up my whole OA. And I was sitting there telling him, we need to do this. I know this is correct. And that guy was like, who is in Google, you or me? I was like, you. And that's why I let him do what he did. And it was stupid because he thought I was correct. The result machine was wrong when it said only 2 test case files. I'm like, you're stupid, man. He's like, no, I know, I blah, blah, blah. That guy ruined my Amazon OA the first time, and I got rejected out of Amazon. So yeah, don't do cheating. Do it yourself. This is what I learned because I believe I can do it better. So now after I'm rejected by Google, I'm rejected by Amazon. I gave a lot of online assessment. Again, everything possible. I'm networking, I'm going to career fairs, I'm applying on LinkedIn jobs, Indeed, Handshake, whatever platform I see, I'm applying jobs. I'm meeting people, I'm taking referrals. I have done everything in my power, 110%. So now I have basically interviewed for Twitter, Visa, Intel, Indeed, Google, Bloomberg. So most of the big names you can hit, I have given interviews for, but I needed some backup before that. So I took some referrals out of my mom's network. His college student worked in a company called Nagaro. Nobody probably has heard of it. It's pretty popular in India. And it's US based, but run by Indian people. It's not a fake consultancy. It's an actual consultancy that takes government contracts on basis. I gave 2 interviews. It was pretty easy. I got in. I took out. I kept it as a backup. But when I did their onboarding, I got to know these people are consulting for the government. You will be placed in a training program. They won't give you a title. You will need to log when you go to the washroom, when you go to get a coffee, when you go to lunch. You need to log your entry, exit, every time possible. And even if they are remote, they want me to New York. They move to New York as soon as possible with a $70,000 salary. I was frustrated so much. I wanted to break something, and I'm like, beggars can't be choosers. So I accepted the offer, and I was like, I'll keep looking because I am no way in hell doing this. I'll go back to India. I don't care. I'm not doing this. So I went and did a lot of work to get some more interviews and to finally go after my final dream. I ended up giving Bloomberg interview, which I was actually given a South Indian person to interview with. He was not able to articulate the question properly. His accent was called ye. I literally did not understand half of the things he said in the interview. I still managed to do the question. It was just a follow-up question I could not answer because he was not able to articulate it properly. In the end, I understood what he was asking, but time had ended. Now I'm like, now there were two options. I can let it go, bad experience. But me being me, I messaged the recruiter. I was like, this is what has happened. If you could give me another chance, look at the recording. Again, I don't try. If I don't try, I won't know if it's a yes or no. So, but actually, this story isn't going the way you are thinking it's going. I did not get another interview. But not to lose hope, because the exact same thing happened in my Google interview. But before we go to the Google interview, in between, I gave Visa and Twitter. I reached both final interviews, but due to some gaps, since this was again still the starting before Bloomberg, I learned from it why I was not selected. There was some technical, some behavioral problem, which I could identify. So I did not. Twitter, I was pretty sure of, but since just one round went bad, that was the only reason I think I was not going to get an offer. Same for Visa. I got a cat in the final year. I named him Twitter. And I do not take pride in saying this. I use that in the interview. I'm like, I have named my cat after your company. Did not work. Did not give me any brownie points. But I did not name my cat after their company, no. But I still use that since it was same. Did not get me any points. Now, basically, I'm like a lot of more OAs, but these were the major ones. Now I went to the Google interview. This is where I'm like, this is what I want. I have it. I have passed the OA. I have the final interview coming up. I gave 3 rounds, all going very good. One was not that good, but 2 were good. So I was like, okay, not an issue. The 4th interview was with a senior software engineer who was a hardcore Chinese. Now, believe me when I say the Bloomberg was just a trailer. I could understand and answer the question. He was just not articulating. When I was doing an interview with this person, I could not understand the question. I made him repeat it 5 times. I still could not understand the question. What was the question? He spent 30 to 40 minutes of the interview trying to explain me what the question is. And it was a lead code hard question, by the way. So I don't understand the question. I don't understand his accent. I don't understand the question anyways. The moment I understand the question, I can't formulate a reply quick enough in the time. And I screwed that interview so bad. I called the interviewer. I had her number, and I'm like, please help me. This is what has happened. And I would want to know if you can give me another interview. Even though Bloomberg had not served me well, this did serve me. Again, this is the learning. Communication and ask for what you want. The worst case, the answer you will get is no. They gave me 2 other interviews. That was an additional round because the decision was anyway split between the hiring committee. And before I could go to this, I went to the round. It was again 50-50. One went well, one did not go that well. But before I could get there, I got a OA from Amazon. And that kind of gave me the opportunity I was looking for. This time I gave my OA myself. I went to another interview. There were two medium questions. I answered them. I got the offer. And I could not wait on Google till then because I had to accept the offer. But Google did reject me in the end because they had taken someone else and it was still 50-50. I did not get my Google dream, but I ended up with Amazon. But in between, I left out one part, which is the most important. These are two offers. Where was the third offer? Third offer, I was interviewing with Intel and Indeed. With Intel, there was no new grad position. This was one position in one team for experienced people, new grads, everyone. I'm competing with master students, experienced people, new grads from all universities. Some miracle, after 7 rounds of interview, I got that job. I got the offer. We negotiated everything. I had the offer in hand. I was about to sign it. 2 days before I was about to sign it, I told Indeed they were also having one more round of interview to choose between me and the other person. There were 2 people remaining in Indeed. I could have gotten that job. I rejected it because I was like, I have an Intel offer. I'm going to take it. Now, the worst thing is, one day before I was going to accept, I have rejected Indeed. I may have gotten a job there. It was 50-50 chance. I just had 1% to beat. Intel recruiters calls me and says, I see you have a bachelor's with not any years of full-time experience. We only sponsor people with bachelor's who have 3 years of experience or someone who has a master's. That broke me to death. I have rejected Indeed for them. I needed to go back to Nagaro, which I did not want to go. Intel rescinded the offer one day before I was about to accept it. And I'm like, are you guys crazy? You took 7 rounds. I gave you my resume. I filled out, I need a sponsorship. You read my resume and now you're telling me this? So the lesson there is you can't control anything. You can't predict the future. Anything can happen. Until you have signed, gained the contract, it can be rescinded even after that. That's why I never left that backup job until I had literally about to start the other job. That's when I told them, I'm going to Amazon. And they were like, okay, so what is the reason you're not going with us? I'm like, the only reason is I'm going to Amazon. Like, I don't know what they did not understand, but they were still shocked that I left their company. And I'm like, you are paying 70K, they are paying 160K. There's a huge gap. And I'm going to Seattle, not New York. So yeah, this is my story. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of things went wrong, sideways. In the end, everything happens for a reason and it works out. That is how it goes. So key takeaways from this are basically shoot your shot everywhere in every way possible. Do whatever is in your power. You put in 110%, which I did. That's what I did. I made myself believe in the middle that I will do whatever I can. I'll put everything. If it does not happen, it does not happen. It's not in my destiny. I can't control that. The effort is the only thing I can control. I do not want to have any regret. If it does not happen, I'll be like, I tried my 120%. It did not happen. Okay. But I did whatever I could. Maybe something better is waiting for me and it has happened for a reason. That's what I truly believe. Second, you will ask the question, even if you know the answer is no. If a recruiter has told you, if you have heard from somewhere, there is no open position. It may sound stupid. What's the worst that can happen? They can say no. Go to their office or email them. Do you have a position for me? Worst thing, they can say no. Maybe they see your resume. You were thinking there are no software engineering positions. They find out a position or make a position for you. This is what happened with me in Amazon. I was going to another team. I wanted to switch teams. There was no SD1 position in the new team that my senior manager was building. He wanted me so bad that he made a vacancy exactly for me. So do not expect an answer. Even if you know the answer is no, ask. It doesn't matter which background college you come from. It does matter, as I told you, but just to say, because you have seen the results and you know there are a lot of people who do it, you can achieve anything you want if you work hard enough or smart enough. Smart is the key word. If you are literally doing 2,000 applications a day, that's not smart. Go to career fairs, network with recruiters. If you can go to some offices, do something that's different. That is what we teach. So it doesn't, luck does play a huge role. As I told you, I cannot emphasize this enough. If someone told you there is no luck in this process, it's more than 50% luck. And I can say that from my experience. What questions you get, what interviewer you get, everything is luck. What is his mood for the day? If he is good, he will help you. If he is not in a good mood, he would reject you even if you gave the best interview. It is so dependent on the interviewer, what kind of questions he gives, that is not in your control, and that is absolutely luck. So you don't compare, get jealous, sulk, complain. You play the cards you are dealt with, make the most out of it. Comparing and complaining will get you nowhere. Taking stress will get you nowhere. Only taking action will get you that. And anything you can't control, there is no point giving your mental energy to it. You can't control the result in this case, getting the job. You can't control if you get the job or not. You just focus on what you can control and let go. That is how you will keep yourself mentally sane. Always be positive. Easier to say, very hard to follow. I haven't mastered that still. Read about law of attraction. If you don't know what that is, watch the movie The Secret. 1.5 hour movie, you will understand how every rich, successful person operates, how they stay positive and why they are successful. If you understand that one concept, it will change your mindset and you will be able to get anything you want. Or at least be happy. If you don't get it, you will be okay with it. GPA is not important at all. The end of the story that I told my parents is, I was in a relationship for 4 years. I got a 4.0. I got the Amazon job. I got every leadership position. I got the dream company. I got the dream salary, all while being in a relationship. I've proved anything I needed to prove everyone. But the whole point is the GPA did not matter at all. If you're going for a master's or PhD, it matters. It matters if it is below than 3. Anything from 3.5 to 4, no one gives a shit. Your experience matters more. Focus more on that, gain more experience, and learn to present yourself. Any experience can be presented in any way. As I said, sweeping floors to match the description, even cashier, tutor, I have matched since I did not have experiences, I have matched all of these, by the way. So definitely this is what came out of my story. I can send you all the key takeaways as well. And as you know, you can contact me via LinkedIn. I'll send you my networking script. I'll send you my resume. You can obviously look at my LinkedIn. These are the most 3 things that will be helpful to you. If most of you are already, I think all of you right now are in Algorithm. So you can book a one-on-one with me as well. It is in my description. If you need any help regarding your resume or LinkedIn or anything related to job hunt. And then I will put my LinkedIn on here in a bit. Yeah, that's it for me. So any questions, anyone?
I think I didn't have any question, but I really, it was really an insightful session. I can relate most of the things as well, so it's really helpful for me. And just one more question. So you worked at Amazon, and currently you are working at Algorithm. So what made you to change the job, or yeah, just to,
So I had actually always wanted to do I was always wanting to do entrepreneurship. As you have seen my background, I went to an entrepreneurship competition once, I went to a hackathon once. I won both. There was a reason for it. I was always inclined. It had my natural talent there. So I always wanted to do this. The more the more I did, I was like, I can excel in this, but it kind of frustrates me, drains my energy. I would rather be doing that. I looked into so many ways that how I can um, do a business in the US or do a side gig. And so I was not able to do that. That's why I was like, I'm very passionate about this and I always anyways wanted to help immigrants. I am a master at mentoring. I was very interested in sales and marketing. So everything was aligning here. That is why I joined it. And then I exited the US because my H-1B is still valid. I can go back till 2025 anytime I want. I wanted to give this a full-fledged, my full effort here if I feel, because again, I don't want to live with regrets. That is my number one mantra. I will ask anything, I'll do anything. And if I don't get the results there, right, I will still be looking at, I did it. If it did not happen, I do not have any regrets. So that is the whole point why I got out of Amazon. I actually, the insider thing is I did not leave Amazon, actually. I survived 3 rounds of layoffs. And then I was so frustrated. I was like, I just stopped working. I made them fire me so that I get severance. That's happened gradually, but they understood uh, like the message I was trying to give. They're like, you can do this. I was not receptive at all. So they understood this person wants to go. I collected severance and I went out since I did not want to get another job. So yeah, that's my reasoning of going out of Algorithm. Sorry, for Amazon. Okay, I've put my LinkedIn on there, but I think, yeah, most of you are already on there. So yeah, if anyone does not have any other questions, thank you so much for joining and reach out to me whenever you need me. I'm always there in the Slack community. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
Have a good weekend, guys. Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
Saransh. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye, Saransh. Thank you for sharing such an interesting story and which was really inspiring. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Okay.